Domain and range of radical functions. Okay, the domain is always the x's. The x's go left or right. The range are the y's, and the y's go up and down. If you know that, then you're going to be okay with this lesson. So we're looking for domain. Domain is x, and obviously that's the case. So we are only going to look at left to right. But before that, I suggest on a radical graph, there's always going to be this point, okay? On a radical graph, there's going to be this point. Figure out what that point is. And that point right there is at -2, 0. And if you figured out that point, then this is your x and this is your y. If you're looking at domain, then your domain is going to start at that x. If it asked for range, then your range would start at that y, okay? So we're doing -2. So here's a -2. That's not -2. That's not -2. And this is -2. Well, what's the difference between these two? The arrow's going in the same direction, which means greater than, which means it's going to the right, which that's okay. But this point is closed, and if it's closed, then it means it's equal. Here's a hint. It's always going to be closed on these questions. So your answer is x is going to be any number greater than or equal to -2. It's going to start at -2, and every x that's being used is going to be to the right of -2. Okay, now I don't care about this yet. Let's just get 0, 0. Well, in this case, it really doesn't matter because everything's going to be 0, right? But which one is range? Y. So this is our y. And so we're going up or down. Or are we going up or are we going down? We're going down. If we're going down, then we're going less than. So it's always going to have a line, and it's looking less than. Okay? Every y that's being used is 0 or smaller. That's what it's saying. This is at 6, 0. We're looking for our x's, so we're going to start at 6. Okay, everything's starting at 6. Are we going to the left or are we going to the right? We're going to the left. So we're looking for that arrow, which is those two arrows. But it's going to be equal to because it's a closed circle. So it's going to be that one. We're going to start at 6 and we're going to go to the left. We're using every number smaller than -6 for the domain. This is at -3, -4. We're looking for range, so we're doing -4. This is a +4, that's a +4, so it's not going to be that one. Are we going up or are we going down? We're going down. So down is less than, which is both less than, but it's closed, which means equal, so it's going to be that one. This is at -5, +6. So the x is -5, the domain is -5, the y is 6, or the range is 6. So let's take care of -5. Here's a -5, here's a -5, y is 6, and those are 6. These are the only two that possibly could be without me having to look at the arrows. So there we go. Let's do that one again. This one is at a +2 and a -8. That's our x and that's our y. +2, nope, nope. Oh, -9, huh? Negative 9. Negative 9. Nope. 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 So those are the only two, positive 2 and negative 9. Okay. Now, so on this, I hope I gave myself enough room. On this, we are looking for the domain. The domain is the x. To be able to find what x can be, you're going to do this every single time. You're going to take what's on the inside and set it equal to greater than or equal to 0. The reason for that is we can't take the square root of negative numbers, right? So I want to know what number would make this 0 because I can take the square root of 0. I want to know what would make this positive because I can take the square root of a positive number. It may not be pretty, it may be a decimal, but we can do that. So we're going to set this greater than or equal to 0 to make it not negative. So we move the 9 over, then greater than or equal to stays, and 0 minus 9 is negative 9. So again, on radicals, you are always going to have the equal sign, okay? So we're on this lesson, you're always going to have the equal sign. So don't stress on that one. So on this, we get negative 9. Give me a number greater than negative 9. Let's say negative 8. If I put negative 8 in here, what's negative 8 plus 9? A 1, and the square root of 1 is 1. But if I use negative 10, what's negative 10 plus 9? Negative 1, and we can't take the square root of negative 1 and get a real answer. So that's why that does not work. If you're going to find the range, give me a second. Oops. Nope, don't do that. Okay. I could go into this long, big story of how you would find the range, but let me just give you the short version of it. What would make this 0? Negative 7, right? X would make that negative 7 would make that square root 0. So if you put negative 7 in here, that would make it 0, and you would get negative 2 out because negative 2 is right there. So our range is going to start at negative 2. Whatever sign is right here is telling you if it's going up or if it's going down. So since, look right here, see that negative? That means that our radical is going to open down. But since this didn't have a sign, it means it's positive, so it means it's going up. It's going to go up at negative 2. And here's negative 2, and that's going up, and so we would get that answer. And I gave you this information not really looking to see what the question was, because that wasn't the question. The question is the domain. The domain is what you have to actually do some work on. We got to set that inside equal to greater than or equal to 0. We're going to subtract the 6. Keep the arrow the same for now. But we have to divide by negative 2 to be able to get x by itself. And if you recall a long, long time ago, I don't even think we've done it this year, but you have done it before. If you divide by a negative, what happens to your arrow? It switches signs, and a negative 6 divided by a negative 2 is a positive 3. So positive 3 makes it inside 0. Positive 3 makes it inside 0, and it's going to be smaller than 3 to be able to get positives on the inside. That's how you find the domain. So on this one, we're looking for the range again, and the range is going to start at this number, which is at positive 2. And we look at this sign, and it's positive, so it means it's going up. If it's going up, then we're going to use that arrow right there. So it's going to be this one. Now we're looking for domain and range. Let's find the range first and kind of narrow it down. Our range is going to be at positive 1. That is not positive 1. So it's not going to be that one. and this is not positive 1, so it's not going to be this one. And it is going to go down because that sign right there says it's going to go down. And both of these are less than, so I can't take away any of those. So then let's go back to the domain. We set whatever on the inside greater than or equal to 0. We're going to subtract that 3. Bring the 3x down. Bring the arrow down. 0 minus 3 is negative 3. We're going to divide by 3, and we're going to divide by 3. This time we divided by a positive number, so our arrow stays whatever it is, and negative 3 divided by 3 is negative 1. And so this is a positive 1, that's a negative 1. That's what we're going to use. And so this is your answer. Range is negative 9. Negative 9. Oop, nope. Negative 9. Shoot. Okay, negative 9, not negative 9, not negative 9, and negative 9. Both of the arrows are the same, so I'm not going to stress on that. Set whatever's on the inside greater than or equal to 0. We're going to add the 5. We're going to keep the arrow for just a second. 0 plus 5 is 5. We're going to divide by negative 5. If we divide by negative 5, what happens to the arrow? The arrow changes, and 5 divided by negative 5 is negative 1. So this arrow is going that way. This arrow, I don't even care what that arrow is doing because it doesn't have an equal sign to it. So we are not going to do that, and it's going to be that answer.